Welcome to our journey through one of the most influential and fascinating histories the world has ever known, the history of Islam. Imagine standing in the heart of ancient Mecca, where the winds whisper stories of a man who changed the course of human civilization. Picture the rise of empires, the clash of cultures, and the timeless teachings that continue to shape millions of lives today. From the deserts of Arabia to the bustling cities of the modern world, Islam's story is nothing short of remarkable. If you enjoy exploring history, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more. Imagine it's the year 610 CE, and you find yourself standing at the foot of Mount Hira in the Arabian desert. The air is thick with the scent of dust, and the desert's stillness is broken only by the whisper of the wind. Here, in a dark cave, a man named Muhammad meditates in solitude. Little does he know, this moment will mark the beginning of a revolution that will reshape the world forever. Suddenly, a bright light appears. It's not just any light, it's the Archangel Gabriel, who brings a divine message from God. The first words Muhammad hears are, "Read." From that moment on, over the next 23 years, the Prophet will receive revelations that will form the foundation of a new faith, one that will spread from the deserts of Arabia to the farthest corners of the earth. But what exactly made this new message so powerful? Imagine a world where people worshiped multiple gods, where tribes fought for dominance, and where justice was often defined by power. In this world, Muhammad's message was simple, but radical. There is only one God, Allah, and all people, rich or poor, powerful or weak, are equal in his eyes. This message spread like wildfire, despite the heavy opposition from the wealthy and powerful in Mecca, who feared losing their influence. Soon, the early Muslims faced severe persecution. Imagine the strength and resolve it would take to hold on to your beliefs when the world around you is telling you to abandon them. But despite the hardships, Muhammad's followers remained steadfast. In 622 CE, Muhammad and his followers made a bold move. They left Mecca and migrated to Medina, an event known as the Hijra. This wasn't just a journey of survival. It marked the beginning of the Islamic calendar and the rise of a new community centered on faith, justice, and unity. Over the next decade, Muhammad and his followers would face wars, alliances, and shifting loyalties. But through it all, Islam continued to grow. Picture the Battle of Badr in 624 CE, where a small Muslim army defeated the mighty Meccan forces against all odds. These victories, though hard-won, signaled to the world that Islam was not just a fleeting movement, it was here to stay. And by the time Muhammad passed away in 632 CE, the Arabian Peninsula was largely united under the banner of Islam. Now, picture the world after Muhammad's death. The message he had preached continued to spread, not through force, but through the power of ideas. Under the leadership of the first four caliphs, known as the Rashidun, the Islamic Empire expanded at an astonishing rate. The Muslims swept through the Middle East, North Africa, and parts of Europe, bringing with them not only a new religion, but also groundbreaking advances in science, philosophy, and medicine. Imagine the city of Baghdad in the 8th century, bustling with scholars, poets, and scientists. This was the heart of the Islamic Golden Age. Scholars translated the works of Aristotle, Euclid, and other ancient philosophers, preserving knowledge that would later spark the European Renaissance. It was in this time that algebra, optics, and advancements in medicine were born, laying the groundwork for modern science. But this Golden Age wasn't meant to last forever. Like all great empires, the Islamic world faced its own challenges. The once united empire splintered, giving rise to powerful dynasties like the Umayyads and Abbasids. Then, in the 13th century, the Mongol invasions brought devastation to cities like Baghdad, causing the empire to fragment even further. By the 15th century, the Ottoman Empire emerged as the dominant power in the Muslim world. Imagine the awe and grandeur of the Ottomans as they marched into Constantinople in 1453, capturing one of the most powerful cities in the world. The Ottomans ruled for centuries, influencing everything from trade to art, but even they couldn't escape the tides of change. By the early 20th century, the empire began to decline, and in 1924, the Caliphate was officially abolished. Yet, the story of Islam didn't end there. Fast forward to today, and Islam is the second largest religion in the world, with over 1.9 billion followers. Imagine the diverse cultures, languages, and landscapes that make up the modern Muslim world, from the bustling streets of Cairo to the serene mosques of Jakarta. Islam continues to evolve, navigating the challenges of the 21st century while remaining deeply rooted in its original teachings of peace, justice, and submission to one God. From the deserts of Arabia to the skyscrapers of New York, the story of Islam is one of resilience, faith, and transformation. It's a story that continues to unfold, influencing millions of lives across the globe, shaping societies, and providing a spiritual anchor for its followers. What do you think happens when a message that challenges the very core of society spreads like wildfire? What if this message could unite people from different walks of life and forever change the course of history? Well, that's exactly what happened with Islam. Picture this. It's the 7th century, and the Arabian Peninsula is a land of fierce tribal competition where people worship multiple gods and live in constant conflict. In the midst of this, a man named Muhammad begins preaching a new way of life, a simple yet profound message that there is only one God, Allah. To many, this idea is a direct challenge to their established beliefs, their wealth, and their power. So as you can imagine, resistance is fierce. Despite the hostility and persecution from those in power, Muhammad and his followers don't just back down. They stand firm in their faith, knowing the truth of their message. They endure hardship, mockery, and even torture, but they persist. As the early Muslims face such relentless opposition, they keep believing that their cause is righteous and their movement is bigger than themselves. Can you imagine what it must have felt like to be one of those first followers? To stand up for your beliefs in the face of danger, knowing you might be crushed for your faith, yet continuing to march forward? Then comes the pivotal moment, the migration to Medina. This wasn't just a move for survival. It was a strategic shift that laid the foundation for what would become one of the greatest empires the world has ever known. And it all started with a new community built on faith, justice, and unity. In Medina, the message of Islam spreads further, and it's no longer just about surviving in a hostile world. It's about thriving, creating a society where the rich and the poor, the powerful and the weak can find equality under one God. As Islam continues to grow, the early Muslims face more challenges, including battles and political intrigue. Think about the Battle of Badr, where the Muslims, outnumbered and outmatched, secure a stunning victory. That victory wasn't just military, it was symbolic. It proved that faith, determination, and unity could overcome the odds. Imagine the excitement and the pride that must have filled the hearts of those early Muslims. They weren't just fighting for survival anymore, they were fighting for something greater, something eternal. And after years of struggle and perseverance, in 630 CE, Mecca is conquered. The city that once rejected Islam becomes the heart of the Muslim world. But here's where the story takes a remarkable turn. When Muhammad enters Mecca, he doesn't seek revenge on his enemies. Instead, he forgives them, showing a level of mercy and compassion that was unheard of at the time. This wasn't just a conquest. It was a statement of the power of mercy, forgiveness, and peace over hatred and violence. But what happens when the leader who has brought about such incredible change passes away? Muhammad's death in 632 CE leaves a vacuum of leadership, and the fledgling Muslim community must figure out how to carry forward the mission. The answer comes through the institution of the Caliphate, and under the first 4 caliphs, Islam expands rapidly. It's almost as if the message Muhammad shared becomes a beacon, drawing people from all corners of the world, eager to embrace the new way of life it promises. At its peak, the Muslim empire stretches from Spain in the west to India in the east. It's not just a political empire, but a cultural and intellectual revolution. Imagine the cities of Baghdad, Damascus, and Cordoba, filled with scholars, scientists, and artists who push the boundaries of knowledge in ways that will shape the future of humanity. Muslim thinkers and philosophers preserve and expand upon ancient knowledge, advancing mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and architecture. What we often take for granted today, like the concept of zero, was brought to us through the lens of Islamic scholars. But even empires that reach great heights have their challenges. The unity of the early Muslim community begins to fracture, leading to political divisions and struggles for power. The once united caliphate gives rise to multiple dynasties, each contributing to the Islamic legacy in its own way, but also leading to conflicts that will shape the future of the Muslim world. Despite the internal struggles and external threats, the message of Islam endures. From the rise and fall of empires to the evolution of new cultures and societies, the faith remains a guiding light for over 1 billion people today, continuing to inspire, challenge, and shape the world in ways we're still discovering. Can you imagine how something so transformative could have survived centuries of conflict and change? It's the enduring power of an idea, a message that started in the heart of the Arabian desert and is still resonating across the globe today. Have you ever wondered how a religion that began in the deserts of 7th century Arabia became one of the most influential forces shaping the modern world? It's incredible to think that today, Islam is the second largest religion on the planet, with over 1.9 billion followers, yet it continues to face misconceptions and misunderstandings in the media. How did Islam evolve over centuries to become the global faith we know today? Let's explore how Islam has left its mark on the world in ways you might not expect. First, let's think about the incredible spread of Islam. Imagine this, the 7th century Arabian Peninsula, a land of harsh deserts and tribal divisions. Yet, from this very environment, a movement was born that would change the course of history. Prophet Muhammad's teachings about monotheism, equality, and justice began spreading like wildfire, transcending the borders of Arabia. But what made this message so powerful? What did it offer the world? Islam presented a message of unity, a message that broke down barriers of race, wealth, and social status. It called for the worship of one God, Allah, and stressed the importance of equality among all people. That was revolutionary in a world where divisions were defined by tribe and class. Imagine being part of a society where such ideas were radical, where the rich and poor, the powerful and the oppressed were all equal in the eyes of God. This was a stark contrast to the deeply hierarchical systems of the time. As the message of Islam spread across the Middle East and North Africa, it wasn't just the religion itself that flourished. It was the Islamic civilization. Picture the Golden Age of Islam. Cities like Baghdad, Cairo, and Cordoba becoming thriving centers of learning, culture, and science. Scholars in the Islamic world preserved and expanded upon knowledge from ancient Greece, India, and Persia. Concepts like algebra, advancements in medicine, and architectural marvels like the Alhambra were born from this period. These intellectual advancements influenced the European Renaissance and paved the way for modern science and mathematics. But let's fast forward to the modern world. Today, Islam isn't just a religion practiced in the Middle East. It has become a global faith with a rich tapestry of cultures and societies. From the streets of Cairo to the bustling markets of Jakarta, Islam has found its place in the most diverse and vibrant corners of the globe. In countries like Turkey, Indonesia, and Pakistan, Islam shapes the culture, politics, and everyday life of millions. But what about the Western world? Islam is now a significant presence in Europe, the Americas, and beyond. Imagine walking through a city like London, where you'll hear the call to prayer echo through the streets, or in Paris, where the influence of Muslim culture is seen in everything from food to fashion. Islam's impact on global politics is just as significant. Countries with large Muslim populations have become key players on the international stage, from oil-rich nations like Saudi Arabia and Qatar to the rising economic power of Indonesia. The Islamic world has not only shaped geopolitics, but it continues to navigate the complexities of modernity in a rapidly changing world. Think about how Islamic nations are grappling with modernization, balancing tradition with the demands of a globalized world. It's a dynamic struggle that's reshaping how Islam is lived and understood across generations. But Islam's influence isn't limited to politics or economics. In the arts, music, and literature, the legacy of Islam is alive and well. The poetic traditions of Rumi and other Sufi mystics continue to inspire people around the world, transcending religious boundaries. And the beauty of Islamic architecture, from the Grand Mosque in Mecca to the modern marvels of Dubai, speaks to the lasting creativity and artistic contributions of the Muslim world. Despite all of this, Islam still faces a struggle in the modern world. With the rise of extremism and the portrayal of Muslims in the media, there's a need for deeper understanding and dialogue. The The real face of Islam is one of peace, tolerance, and compassion, values that millions of Muslims uphold in their everyday lives. Can you imagine how the average Muslim feels in the West, where their religion is often misrepresented and misunderstood? It's a reminder that while Islam has shaped the world in so many ways, there's still much to learn about it and its followers. So, how has Islam managed to stay relevant in such a rapidly changing world? The answer lies in its adaptability and the strength of its core values. The Muslim world continues to evolve, with communities adapting to new challenges while staying deeply connected to their faith. In an era marked by globalization, Islam remains a force that unites people from all walks of life, proving that its teachings are as relevant today as they were over 1,000 years ago.